Hey friends, we apologize for delay in videos, as we were busy in exams so we could not upload videos, but from this month we will try upload videos weekly. After First World War, there were many consequences which were faced by the world. Today we will know about them. The Treaty of Versailles, 1919. After the First World War, many discussions and treaties were done. Britain and its three allies imposed the terms and conditions of the treaty on the defeated powers. The Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman Turkey empires were dissolved and broken up into small nation-states. The German Empire too was broken up and replaced by a democratic republic. The Ottoman Empire was replaced by the Republic of Turkey. A large number of new countries were formed like Austria, Hungary, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Estonia, Latvia, Finland, etc. The Treaty of Versailles imposed heavy penalty on Germany both in monetary terms. Germany had to pay war indemnity or compensation to the victorious allies, and in territorial terms, it lost a lot of its territory to France and other countries.
The League of Nations 1920. The League of Nations was the first ever international organization which was formed as a consequence of the Treaty of Versailles. It was established on 11th of January, 1920. It was formed to prevent wars by trying to settle disputes through negotiations, ensure disarmament, or reduce manufacturing of arms, etc. It also sought to work for development, labor welfare, and health. It had about 58 members. It had limited success initially but failed to prevent the Second World War. The Great Depression 1929 to 1939. The economic depression began around the end of 1929 and lasted almost till 1939 when the Second World War started. During this decade, the economy declined worldwide because of a decline in demand and fall in prices. Factories were closed because the demand was low. Since the goods were manufactured in limited quantity, the prices increased. Because of expensive goods, people's purchasing power reduced. So the demand for goods further went down. This cyclical effect caused massive unemployment. The real incomes of ordinary people as well as governments across the world also declined. Initially a stock market collapsed in the US, but very soon it affected almost every country. In America, as many as 25% people and nearly 33% people in many other countries were unemployed. As factories closed down and trade declined, cities became centers of decline. This led to reduced prices, up to 60%, for agricultural produce, causing pauperization of millions of farmers and stopping of cultivation. This was the longest and worst economic decline faced by modern economy. Today, the consequences of this were devastating. There was increasing poverty, desolation, homelessness, etc. Economists and politicians have discussed the causes of this decline, ways to get over it and possible ways of preventing it from happening again. Marxist economists argued that this kind of crises happened because of capitalism. They also thought that it could be prevented by the establishment of socialism. On the other hand, economists like J.M. Keynes argued that the state is responsible to keep the economy going. If it fails to do so, it can lead to situations of depression. Keynes argued that during economic decline, when demand decreases, the state should invest funds and generate employment which will help people to earn money and demand goods in the market. This generation of demand through state action will help the economy to revive. Franklin Roosevelt, who became the President of U.S., announced the New Deal, which promised relief to the victims of depression, reform of financial institutions and steps to ensure economic recovery, the 3 Rs, by undertaking large public works. However, when the war started, state expenditure on armies and armaments suddenly increased. This increased the factory production and demand for farm produce. He also introduced the much-needed Social Security system in the U.S. It established a permanent system of universal retirement pensions, Social Security, and unemployment insurance. It also gave welfare benefits for the handicapped and needy children in families without fathers. It established the framework for the U.S. welfare system. In fact, Great Britain had taken the lead in this direction even before the Depression, when the war was still on. These basically consisted of unemployment insurance and old age pension schemes. Towards the end of the Second World War, Britain also adopted many social security measures like unemployment doles, sickness coverage, health schemes, child care, etc. All this made up the idea of a welfare state, a state which ensured a basic minimum dignified life for all citizens. It also took care of their most elementary needs like food, housing, health, child and old age care and education. The state had taken on the responsibility of providing employment to the able-bodied citizens. In this way, the state tried to reduce the effects of the ups and downs of market-based capitalism.